people were kind of like, that's a really cool idea. You should make a thing of it. So one day I sat down at home with a beer and I just sat there. I bought Dogecoin.com. That's a bit funny. And I slapped the Doge face onto a coin and just put it live. And I wake up the next day to heaps of retweets. And my co-founder, who's based up in Portland, had messaged me and said, hey, I found that you can change I forked the Bitcoin source code or the Litecoin source code, and you can change the font to Comic Sans. I'm like, ooh, okay, we got to do this. Like, that's hilarious.
Let's move on to Bitcoin, shall we? That's a virtual
Bitcoin has now almost overtaken
all-time high this week of $900. Now, at its peak, if you had invested $1,000 a year in it,
Hey everybody, Chris here. Welcome on a Friday. What's going on? We're talking Dogecoin, cryptocurrency, and what is next? What is coming up for Doge? Hope you're all doing well and had a good week, as GB Disc Golf says. It's a great week. And it was. I mean, look at Doge. 8.5 cents. Not bad. It's a start. We got a long way to go, and we're just getting started. We're just getting started. That's been the message for the week, looking ahead, all the great things coming forward. But there's always challenges along the way, right? Because volume is low, social media sentiment is low, and I'll show you a chart that just shows you like how many people just don't care about Dogecoin right now. It's just like, it is like so under the radar. There's nothing happening. There's just nothing happening on the social media front. I mean, you scroll through X Twitter and it's just like, there's not a lot going on. So we're accumulating, right? Because we know once the news hits and once the social scores go up, once the search terms go up for Dogecoin, it's going to take off. And that's what we're waiting for. But right now, it's just generally kind of following Bitcoin. And that's okay because Bitcoin's doing very well. So we've got a good price for Doge. But yeah, it's not where we want to be and not where Doge should be based on its value and what's coming. But that's how cryptocurrency trades. That's the challenge we have going forward. So accumulation continues. Dips will continue. We could see a retracement this weekend a little bit because for Bitcoin anyway, it's a 3-day weekend. There's going to be no stock market on Monday, so no ETF buying by BlackRock or Fidelity or ARK. They won't be buying Bitcoin on Monday. So I don't know. We'll just see how it goes over the 3-day weekend and how the rest of the crypto market is going to respond. Let me drop down here in the corner and look. Today was really a mixed day in crypto. We've got some in the green, Dogecoin, Bitcoin, Algorand. H bar is in the green. Litecoin, VeChain has been just going bonkers. We'll talk about that in a little bit. And Sia Coin again, going on a run. And Matic is having a good day. So we'll talk about some of those. And yeah, got some in the red. ETH, Solana, Sheeb just touched 10 and then just sold right back off, just not doing anything. So yeah, that's what we got going on. Dogecoin will start to rise because Kriss Pax is live. Thank you, Rod. And greetings from China. Let me know where in China are you? Love to know where you are. It's a big country. It's a big country. Love to know where you are. I have worldwide watchers. And so it's morning in China. So good morning to you on your Saturday morning. And like to know where everyone's from, actually. Jason, Friday, and cheers. I am drinking a beverage tonight on a Friday. So it was a good week. So cheers, Jason. Yeah, that's good. That's good. So we're looking at the Dogecoin chart, which is where we'll start. Look at the 4-hour chart. We had this big run up here, and this was from, well, it really started down here on the 13th of February. And by Valentine's Day, we went from 7.9 cents all the way up to 8.8. And then we retouched 8.8 again this morning. So we've got a top at 8.8, and then we've got these two little tails, these little wicks down to 8.4. So we could see 8.4 as the short-term support. I'm tracking 8.5 cents with this red line as we're just trading around it right now, and it's holding its support. So on the 4-hour chart, that 8.5 line looks pretty good with a couple wicks down like I showed. So if that's as low as we go for now, and we go up from here, that's awesome. That's awesome. I'll take that, because we go out to the daily and we see where we've been, and we're ready to get back up into the 9s and 10s. So this big sort of cup here that we've got forming, except for the one blip up here that we had in January 20th, 21st. It's time for this to get back up. We've broken out of this descending wedge that I have in yellow. I'll keep it here for a few more days before I get rid of it. But yeah, we've broken out of that wedge, which means this should be getting back up. It should be targeting back up to 10 cents. But what's happening with Dogecoin? Why is the volume so low? What's going on? And I was watching Tom Crown earlier today, and he was showing on Google Trends like what the low volume of search is on Bitcoin, but it had ticked up a bit in the last month, mostly because of the ETFs. But I did the same thing with Dogecoin, and you guys aren't going to believe this. This is the chart for Dogecoin over the past 5 years. This is search term of Dogecoin. How many people are searching Dogecoin on Google? In 2021, January into early February, huge spike in Dogecoin. We had the same in December of 2020. And then, of course, when the TikTokers were doing their thing back in July of 2020, there was a big uptick there. But look at this, April and May of 2021, just huge interest in Dogecoin. And since then, it's been relatively flat. We had one little tick up here in April of 2023, and that was related to Elon, I think, putting the Doge logo on Twitter before he changed it all to X. There was that. And then back here in October of 2022, when Elon bought Twitter, there was a little uptick. But it's just flat. There's no interest. There is no interest right now in Dogecoin. But the price up at 8.5, that's better than 6.5, right? We could still be like slumping along like we were over the summer at 6.5, but we're not. We're up to 8.5, which is good. I mean, that's where the price was here in early February 2021. When Dogecoin broke through a penny and went up to 8 cents, a lot of activity with Dogecoin on the social. And now we're at 8.5 cents here today, and nobody's searching Dogecoin. So it's under the radar. Doge is just under the radar. One of these days, we're going to have this happen again with Doge, and it's going to go crazy. But right now, nothing. There's nothing going on, at least on search and on the socials. Like I said, you scroll through X Twitter, you even do a search on Dogecoin there, and you've got the few, usual loyal, X Twitter users that post Doge memes and support Doge, but there's just nothing else going on. So that's the challenge Dogecoin has right now. There's just nothing going on in terms of search or social sentiment with Doge right now. And so we wait and know that it's going to come. So yeah, this next wave of interest in Doge, when it hits, it's going to be wild. So we hang out, talk what's going on, keep up with the news, accumulate, because it's going to come. And if Dogecoin just continues to follow Bitcoin, and Bitcoin having this huge run here, of course, Dogecoin didn't go on that same run because these are those institutions buying all this Bitcoin for those ETFs, and so Doge couldn't go on that kind of run. But Doge is doing okay. Now, again, if we get back up into the 9s and 10s, then I'm like, okay, that'd be a good level. But we're not there yet. We're not there yet. So, Amanda, welcome. Mississippi. Joshua from Indiana, welcome, welcome. I'm ready for the pump. I'm ready. Tim says he's frustrated with US laws, having to VPN and buy offshore to get the tokens I want. Yeah. That's true. There's stuff that is pretty tough to buy if you want to go DeFi and degen into some stuff that isn't on Coinbase or Binance US. Yep. And then even then, there are some states in the US where you can't buy what you want. So, but yep, that's a challenge. That's a challenge we have. And then if you want to trade on leverage and shorting and all of that, like you see these other YouTubers doing, for most of that, you've got to be using a VPN as well. Of course, I don't support the leverage trading, but that's what people do. Ron's in a restroom. Yeah. Hey, Curtis, how are you? Having fun? Do you think we can see 10-cent Doge by the end of the year? I think we'll be over 10 cents by the summer. Again, we're just getting started. A lot will rely on X payments and other Doge integration for currency. My video earlier today, if you guys didn't see, was using Dogecoin to buy things, right? That is what the Dogecoin Foundation, the Dogecoin devs are concentrating on, and not just relying on Dogecoin as a meme, but actually using it as a cryptocurrency, which was the intent of Bitcoin in the beginning, Bitcoin, eCash, right? Using it for digital transactions. And now we see this Bitcoin just totally taking off because you've got the BlackRocks and the Fidelities and the ARKs buying crap ton of Bitcoin. They're holding on behalf of their clients, yes, but that Bitcoin's not going to be used for currency. Nobody's spending Bitcoin now. They're using it as a store of value. They're buying crap tons of Bitcoin because of the scarcity and the price going up, so they can make a lot of money. That's all. That's all Bitcoin is. Now, I know some of you hold Dogecoin because you think the price is going to go up and you're going to make a lot of money. But there's the dogs and the memes, there's the community, and there's also its use as a currency. I mean, 10,000 Dogecoin is minted, new Dogecoin, every minute. It's not the same as Bitcoin. You're not going to get the same kind of response here as Bitcoin. But that's what makes Doge different, and that's what makes Doge unique. And that's why Elon Musk says Dogecoin is better for transactions than Bitcoin. And if he's planning on the X app to do X payments, peer-to-peer X payments, and incorporates a cryptocurrency, it's going to be Doge. It's going to be Dogecoin. And as I've been showing in videos this week, putting the pieces together between X payments, Shopify, what the Dogecoin devs are working on with GigaWallet, you put that all together, I think that's where this is heading. And nobody knows it yet. Nobody knows it yet. So that's what we're waiting for. So Doge just hangs out here, accumulating, buying the dips, waiting for things to go crazy, because they will. They will go crazy with Dogecoin. But right now, no. For those that just joining and didn't see, this is the search for Dogecoin on Google search back in 2021, when Doge was going crazy. That's what we're waiting for again to happen. But right now, as far as social sentiment and Google searches, there's just not much going on with Dogecoin right now. And that's where we are. Hey, Bogdan, why do you think Elon is so quiet about Doge? I think it's because he's not ready yet. He's not ready to unleash the Doge because he's still working on his money transmitter licenses in all these states. And he wants to get that all done in order to begin X payments. Then we're going to see Doge, and we're going to see him talking about it. That's what we're waiting for. And how high we can go, that's going to depend on X, I think. It's going to depend on that. I just don't right now see anything else going on with Doge where it's going to get the kind of exposure and the kind of craziness that we'll want to see. Dogecoin's a good cryptocurrency. Will continue to trade well, but it's not gonna rocket up until something big happens. And we don't see any other benefactors coming forward other than Elon right now to really support it. Tim's in Texas, can't even use Binance US, and that's all right. Binance US just is terrible now. You can only trade using Tether. You can't on ramp, off ramp directly from Binance US. So I'm surprised they're still in business. Actually, there's no trading volume. There's no liquidity. It's just that's a tough platform to trade on now. Yeah, I don't think Elon watches me. He's a little busy. But that's okay. And I haven't heard an update, Jack, on the Elon lawsuit. So I don't know what's going on there. Hey, Denise, credit card purchases through PayPal offer some buyer protection. I don't quite understand the whole Dogecoin buying potential. Will there be any protection? No. With cryptocurrency, you make the purchase and the purchase is done. What the advantage is, Denise, for people, especially for us right now, is you can buy Dogecoin at 8 cents. And then when Dogecoin is at 80 cents, all of that Dogecoin you bought at 8 cents, you've got 10 times the buying power. That's the beauty of Doge for us right now. Now, when it is being used and the price is 80 cents, let's say, the advantage of it on a platform like X is it's all happening right on the platform. So every time you make a purchase with PayPal, let's say, right, you click on it, a little window comes up. You've got to do some stuff on that window, right? Verify it, all of that, right? And then the payment goes through. That's okay, right? But it's using a bank. It's using a third party. There are fees typically associated with that. Elon doesn't want that. And the last thing he's going to be using on X is PayPal. He's not going to allow PayPal to be used on X. And while all that waiting is going on with Doge, particularly if it's just a little Doge symbol on there that you want to send someone, you just click it, how many Doge, and it's done. All on the platform. Also, if you're sending money from someone who's in one country to another country, 1 Doge equals 1 Doge. There's no changing of currencies, right? There's no exchange rate. There's no, right? It's all just Dogecoin. You want to send someone 10 Dogecoin, you send them 10 Dogecoin. So you don't have to worry about exchange rates, and it would just be so easy on a platform to just have Dogecoin, in my opinion. And I hope Elon sees that. It may be difficult for him to start there, though. He may have to start with fiat, unfortunately. But integrating Dogecoin, if anyone's going to do it, it's going to be Elon. Doge is worth the wait, and we do wait. Mining Dogecoin. Mining Dogecoin is only profitable if you live in an area where you have cheap electricity. That's it. I can't do it in Boston. My electricity rates are so high. I figured out that I would have to buy a rig first, right? That's going to be a few $1,000s. And then my electricity costs, there's some websites where you can figure that out. And how much Doge you mine then. And it was going to take me like 2 years to pay back the cost of the rig and, plus the extra utility for the electricity. 2-year payback, that's not profitable. I don't see that as profitable. Not worth the investment. So I'm not doing it. But if you live in a place with cheaper electricity, you're able to build your own rig, maybe putting parts and pieces together. That graphics card, I don't know what the prices are of the latest, and greatest mining graphics cards are. I know that for Dogecoin, you have to get a different type of graphics card than Bitcoin. That I know, but I never took it any further. So, no, not mining. Hey, Matt, if this is going to be the biggest bull run ever, I think we can easily reach $1 Doge, even without the help of Elon. I don't know about that. I don't know about that. I think something's got to happen on X with Doge or Tesla, or something, right? Something's got to happen. Otherwise, Dogecoin's not going to $1. I mean, that big craziness we saw in 2021 was all on the backs of Elon. And it was all hype then. Now it's not hype. Now it's reality. It's the real use of Dogecoin that we're waiting for now. That's the difference. So aside from Dogecoin, we've got the whole crypto market, and we've got Bitcoin leading the way. And this is Mags on X. And I first want to show you this chart, which is another chart of the 4-year cycles and the halvings, because we're still on these 4-year cycles. So you see these yellow vertical dotted lines, those are the halvings. We're getting close to the 2024 halving now. We're getting close. And what has happened after every previous halving? Green candles up, green candles up, green candles up. Will it repeat? Most likely, what you see in white here is going to become green. He's got this going up to like $300,000. Now, you could say that each of these parabolic little circles here are getting smaller and smaller, so maybe it's a little smaller. Okay, maybe Bitcoin only goes to 200K this time. That's still pretty good. For a 4x for Bitcoin at this point, from 50K to 200K, is a huge deal. That's a huge deal. And he also has, and you can't really see it, it's pretty small here, but there is on this fractal pattern here, there is a retracement back down to like 48, 45K, something like that, after the halving. And that's what I've been talking about, is after the halving, there could be some dip happening. And I've got some cash sitting on the side waiting for that, or some other big dip between now and then, which I don't know. There might be a little dip this weekend, but going to the end of April and into May, we could see a bigger pullback. And I've shown on other charts the previous pullbacks that we've had in these bull runs of 20, 30% pullbacks, especially 2017. Just big, huge, like 30% drops in the price of Bitcoin. So that could happen. That's when you have to be ready. Most people just DCA, a lot will just FOMO in. The price is going up, they'll buy. There'll be a lot of that. It's going to be crazy. So then we come up and we look at this chart and we're like, okay. And this is the mentality, right? It's like, well, first, like back in 2022, near the end and into 2023, when Bitcoin was trading between 15 and 17,000, number one, right? I will buy lower, right? I will buy lower. I guess I'm in the way here. All right, so I will buy lower. And that's really the bottom, and that's what we saw. And then we had this run up in February. Oh, it's a bull trap. Still not buying. And then we have the run where we are right now, up to 50K. It's like, well, it's still below the all-time high. And then number 4, right? When Bitcoin's taking off, it's like, I am so stupid. I'll buy on the next pullback. But it just keeps going higher. And then you get to WTF. It's still going higher, and you panic buy. You panic buy. It gets up to the all-time high, and you say, hey, thank God I bought. I'm a bull. Let's keep going. Because you don't know when the all-time high is going to be. You think it's just going to keep going. Well, guess what? Then it starts turning around. Oh, it's just a small correction. Oh, it's consolidating before we pump. And then it dumps. Then that's when we are in the bear market. And then number 9, WTF, crypto is a scam, panic sell. And you're selling somewhere near the bottom, but it eventually hits the bottom again. And you say, thank God I sold. And then the cycle starts over again. What you see here from this line forward, this is 2026, 2027. That's what this is right here. This is 2026 and 2027. For Bitcoin, for those that really want to make money, a retail trader, and not lose any, you accumulate down here, and then we'll see when we get into 2025 when this all-time high might be. And this is my plan for most of my cryptocurrency. I'm going to be selling. I'm going to be selling a lot of it because I'm not going to hold all the way through another bear market. Is there a guarantee there's a bear market? A lot of people saying, well, you've got BlackRock and you've got Fidelity, buying all these ETFs. It's going to be, 1 million Dogecoin. A million Bitcoin that they're going to own. All right, so more scarcity. That Bitcoin isn't being sold. So there won't be this big drop. Well, there's still traders, though. And there's still the 4-year cycles. And so with that, we don't know. But there's just been every 4 years, there has been a pullback. And so timing when this is going to be at the top for what we think is going to be a pullback, hey, it's a good time to take profits anyway, probably. So we'll be talking about that like a year from now. We'll be getting into that, hopefully, if we do have this big parabolic run. That will be awesome. And then for alts, well, this is what we've seen before. Is we've seen alts go on higher parabolic runs than Bitcoin. That's when the Bitcoin dominance plummets and the altcoin season takes off. We are entering altcoin season. You can feel it. You can feel the excitement in these other crypto projects happening. Dogecoin's being quiet right now. Again, not a lot of news about Dogecoin. Social sentiment is pretty low, but we have a lot of other altcoins. Some have already gone on big runs and are taking breathers. Others are just starting. And we'll talk about those as well. VeChain was the latest this week. All of a sudden, VeChain wakes up, and it's like, okay, here we go. So that's what's going on. Hey, Nate, how you doing? Thanks for the super chat. Appreciate it. How am I preparing? What percentage of your Doge is on the exchange? Do you have limit orders set for profits? What is your backup plan for Robinhood and Coinbase are overloaded with transactions? Right now, I have a little bit on Coinbase, but it's just the stuff that we bought for the Kriss DCA portfolio. And that's just sitting there because I'm just keeping that whole portfolio right there on Coinbase so I can track it easily. I am not holding a lot on exchanges right now because I'm not planning on selling. I do not have any limit orders set yet for profits. I think we have too long to go before it's time to start setting limit orders, in my opinion. So, because we don't know what's going to happen with these cryptocurrencies, and I would rather take a look at that more like the end of the year, seeing how Bitcoin is trading, seeing how the other alts are trading, and then start thinking about levels for limit orders. That's my plan. And then I will be transferring back from my Ledger, my Exodus wallet, back onto exchanges so that I can prepare for then taking profits. But that's probably not going to be for another 9 or 10 months. That's my plan. I'm just waiting. Just waiting. So, yep, that's... And I have got some cash sitting on Coinbase, waiting to buy some more. Right now, I'm just waiting for some pullbacks. And we'll see. Now, about Robinhood and Coinbase maybe being overloaded with transactions, I'm not concerned about Coinbase. Robinhood, hopefully they've got their act together, and when things go crazy, they are a little better prepared than they were back in 2021, because they were not prepared for that. And it was obvious that their app just that was pretty bad. Hopefully they're better prepared for that. Tim says, I don't see why the psychology of big organizations would be much different from that of the average person. While retail buyers will buy and sell more, the big organizations, particularly with Bitcoin, will be buying for the long term, like Michael Saylor in MicroStrategy, right? He's been buying for 3.5 years. He's only did one sale in 3.5 years. The rest of it has just been buy, 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 all the way up, all the way down, and now all the way back up. He's just buying. And he's got 190,000 Bitcoin now. Those Bitcoins are not going to be sold, but retail buyers will sell. And there's a lot talking, like I am, about selling in 2025. Thinking there's going to be another bear market coming in 2026. Because there's a lot of talk about these 4-year cycles, and the patterns are very clear. Now, whether that 4-year cycle continues just like that, we don't know. I'm planning on taking profits. Not everything. I'm not selling everything, particularly not all my Dogecoin. I'm going to sell some Dogecoin this time. Because if Dogecoin does go on a bear market dip, it's going to be a dip. And I don't want to be holding all my Dogecoin through another bear market. And I have a lot more Dogecoin this bull market than I had last bull market. And I'm just not going to just keep holding it. So I'll be taking some profits and then buying back in lower, like a year later or something like that. We'll see. I mean, you don't know. But that's my plan. AVAX or Doge for CJ? Split it. Buy a little both. AVAX is number 9. Dogecoin's number 10. Split it. Avalanche is doing great with gaming. And there's some memes being built on Avalanche. AVAX has had a huge run already. Dogecoin is waiting. It hasn't had a huge run. So that's something to think about, what the potential is. I own both. You can see my little gold stars there on what I own. So I own both. I own a good chunk of Avalanche. And it's done very well for me because I bought it at like $16 and now it's $40. So in good profit on that. But I'm holding. I'm just waiting. And we'll see come the end of the year. And start planning for layering out. I'm not selling everything at once. I don't believe in that. You don't know when the top is. You don't know when the all-time high is going to be. So you layer. Sell bits at a time. If there's a significant pullback while you're doing that, you have to judge and see whether that's going to be like past the all-time high, or you think there's still enough positive sentiment going on, or it might just be a pullback and then turn around and go higher. You don't know. That's the hard thing about trading when you don't know yet. Looking on the charts and looking back, that's easy. That's the easy part. And Doge just hanging out now, low volume, just not much going on tonight. Up above 8.5 cents. I think we're just going to keep hanging out here for a while. But there could be a pullback. There could be a pullback. So Jason, reminder for people to hit the like button. Appreciate that. I always forget to say that stuff. I get too wound up in the news stories and the charts. Dogecoin price nears pattern end. Traders on alert. Doge has had a good increase in February so far. Daily and 6-hour time frames are both bullish. Despite the bullish Doge price prediction, a close below 8.4 will mean the upward movement is not valid. So 8.4 is that line that we were looking at. We looked at it here yesterday on the video, pointed that out. We also had it back here, that first pullback. That was on Wednesday. We talked about that on Wednesday's live stream. And then we had the third that happened earlier today, right down to 8.4. So that is the current trading after this spike that we had back here, up above 8.5 cents. That's the current trading now. And we'll see whether this stays up or we see another dip come back down to 8.4. And as that article said, if 8.4 isn't held, we would go lower. And where lower would we go? It's the same thing I've been saying. I saw this in right down here. 7.7. 7.7, that's where Mars was buying crypto, remember, the other week. 7.7. We would have to break we'd have to break 7.95 first, though. I think that's in that's in the next article. It would be 7.9. But they're not talking about Doge dropping any lower than that. No one's talking about that. Dogecoin price prediction could see the next pump up to 12 cents. That is the positive signs above 8.5 cents. That's where we are right now. With that pump now going sideways. And if there's a downside correction, it's 7.95. That's it. Doge has really strong support. So those looking to buy like 6-cent Dogecoin again, yeah, that's not happening. That is not happening. And then what's next? What's next for Dogecoin? That's what we're talking about. That's the theme of tonight's live stream, is what is next for Dogecoin. Doge is in a bullish rating now, according to Investors Observer. But they warn Dogecoin has traded on low volume recently, and that's what we've seen. This means today's volume is below its average volume over the past 7 days. And with that low volume and the low social sentiment that we've seen, it just doesn't point to a huge breakout for Dogecoin in the near term. It's just not there. They're talking the same levels here with support set around 8.4 cents. Resistance is up at 8.8. They call it 8.79. I'll call it 8.8. That's the range. It's a really tight range right now, but with low volume, this is where we're going to be. And so here's that 8.8 line is right there. So that is the range we're talking about, is this trading range right there. It's only about 4.5%, almost 5% in this trading range here, which isn't a lot. For cryptocurrency, that's not a lot. Will this trading range hold through the weekend? It's a 3-day weekend. There's no stock trading on Monday, which means there's going to be no Bitcoin ETF buying or selling happening on Monday. So we don't know what's going to happen with crypto trading on the longer weekend. AVAX was my first buy at 11, sold on that first drop. Yep. And then it just kept going. That's the problem when you start playing that buy and sell game. My AVAX I just accumulated and have been holding since. So yeah, you have to be careful with the buy and sell. Blue Horseshoe, how are you? Do you think SHIB is worth holding on to? So much talk about projects, including gaming, automated burns. I know. SHIB has been so frustrating. I've held it for a year. It's finally back to where I bought it, right around 10. It's been frustrating to not have much movement on this thing. I go to the daily chart on SHIB, and I bought it back in here. I think it was right after this drop. Yeah, right around the beginning of March, almost a year ago. That's where I bought SHIB. When it came down and hit 10. Yeah, it might have been this dip. That's right. And I thought, hey, oh, what a great buy. Bought it after this big dip, caught it right at the bottom. That's awesome. And then look what it does. It goes lower and lower and lower. It's been a long ride. I don't know. SHIB is one of those. I think with Ethereum taking off, and this SHIB is an ERC20 token still. It has so many ETH whales. They're going to want to make money on this thing. And the SHIB burning they're doing is not really having much of a dent. Of course, if you've got like a quadrillion tokens, right? You burn 1 million SHIB tokens, that's nothing. A million SHIB tokens is nothing. You gotta be burning billions to make any effect, not millions. Billions. And that's not happening. So I'm still holding. I still think SHIB is going to have some kind of breakout. It might not be till this fall. It might be like 7 or 8 months away. But I'm going to hold and wait. with it. I've held it for this long. It's like, and plus, if I hold it for at least a year before I sell, then when I have profits, I'm in a long-term capital gains tax bracket on that, as opposed to the short term, which saves me like 15 to 20% on those long-term capital gains. I know there goes Kriss talking about taxes again, but you got to factor that in. And now I've held it for almost a year. I'm going to keep holding it. And then we'll see what happens. That's my take on sheep. And we'll see from there. Toss, how are you? Happy Friday. DZ was hoping for a drop of Doge down to 6 cents. I don't think that's happening. 7.9. That's the accumulating dip price. These prices will look very cheap moving forward. Agreed. Mid sevens is the lowest. Yeah, 7.7 is the lowest. I mean, that is on the 4-hour chart here. 7.7 is this yellow line. Is 7.77. That was that strong support line that we had. And that was all through like half of January into February. It's this yellow line here. Let me drop CJ out of here for a minute. That's this line right here. That's 7.77. And look where we are now, up above 8.5, to fall all the way back through 8.15, through 8 cents, through the last dip lines, which were 7.95, all the way down to 7.7 again. We're only doing that if Bitcoin is tanking. And Bitcoin ain't tanking. Bitcoin could have a pullback maybe to 50, maybe 48. But it's just the way Bitcoin is trading now, I don't see that. I don't see much more than that. Ba, 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 ba. Money in, cash out. 37,543 Doge. That's a very exact number. CJ's at 5,000 Doge. Was debating getting more. What has happened in the past with crypto when stocks are closed on Monday? It's different. There's no real pattern. I've looked and I've tried to see if there's a pattern, and there is none. When there are Monday holidays in the United States, there's no pattern. I think this is different on the backs of Bitcoin because of these ETFs, and we're not going to have that big buying on Monday from a BlackRock and a Fidelity on Monday that you would normally see, or that we have been seeing over the past number of weeks on Bitcoin, Monday through Friday. On the weekends, I just don't think you're going to be seeing a lot of retailers selling their Bitcoin. There'll be the usual traders, people trying to swing trade it, people doing their leverage trading or trying to short it because they think, oh, I'm going to short Bitcoin because it's going to go. You don't know. So you've got the traders. And so the price goes up and down. If there was no trading, right, the price would just be flat and it wouldn't go up and down. But there are traders, there's volumes, a lot of bot trading still going on, always trying to look for that little bit. That's what the bots always look for. It's just that little bit. So there's a lot of that. Bum, bum, bum. Flying Tiger thinks we're going to be pumping this weekend, and I just don't see it, unfortunately. Don't see it. Not betting my house on it. I'll sell my underwear if I need to buy more Doge. Hey, thanks for subscribing, Derek. Appreciate it. Optimism, yes, long-term, good positive attitude, but I also look at pullbacks too. Pullbacks are always opportunities, though. That's true. We're not in a bear market, guys. It's just like there's so much positivity across crypto. So now we just look for pullbacks to buy. That's what I look for. Some people just DCA no matter what the price is. And yeah, you probably do all right there. But I'm a trader. I like to look for a pullback and buy on a dip. That's what I always look for. But for the rest of you, if you haven't already subscribed, please subscribe to the channel. Always appreciate the support. And if you want to become a member, we've got this Kriss DCA portfolio with this 75,000 Dogecoin right there that is just sitting there waiting to be given away to the members, channel members. I'm going to be giving this away. 75,000 Doge. But you have to join, which go to my YouTube channel on a PC. Doesn't work on the app. On your phone, you got to go on a PC or a Mac to the website and you join the channel. You get a little check mark next to your name. Your name is in green in the chat. You get all sorts of new emojis that you get to use exclusive to members. And you will be receiving Dogecoin when we sell this portfolio. I put in $10,000. The portfolio is up over $5,000 in profit already. And it's going higher. It's going higher. We know it. It's just going to go higher, except for stupid XRP that I bought. But I didn't buy much of it. There's only a little XRP in here. About 1,200 XRP. But we got some SHIB in here as well. And look at this SHIB we bought at 0.0000831. So we're up almost 20% on this SHIB alone. So that's in profit. Our Doge average, for those that haven't seen this, our Doge average is 6.17 cents. Because we were buying last summer, when Doge was in the 6s and dipping down into the 5s. That's when we were buying all of this Dogecoin. So our average is 6.17. So that's pretty good. Kriss DCA portfolio. And Bitcoin's going to pump this weekend. Flying Tiger is convinced a lot of pumping going on. We don't know when Doge 1 is going to go. We're waiting to see whether Intuitive Machines' lunar lander, which is on its way to the moon right now, is a successful project. We'll be watching that. I think the landing is this weekend for the lunar lander. So we'll be checking in on that. I'll keep you guys up to date because we want that to be successful so they can do an IM2, get into SpaceX's launch schedule for IM2 for the next lunar lander, because that's their business model, Intuitive Machines, to make money with these lunar trips. And then we get the Doge 1 satellite in that one. That's what we want. How much SHIB do I have? It is close to 6 billion SHIB. It's a good chunk. It's a good chunk of SHIB, which is why I'm just waiting for it to rocket. And then I'm going to be selling it. I'm going to sell all of it. I'm not holding any of it after the next run. I'm selling it all for profit. I'm not in SHIB for long term. I'm in Doge long term and a little Bitcoin. I'll always hold on to some Bitcoin too. My first buy was at 63 cents, Christopher says. Been DCAing since. And your average is all the way down to 8.7 cents. Wow, you were just above your average. Right there. This morning, you just touched above your average right there. Awesome work. Strong work, Christopher. This will go higher. You'll be in profit. Strong work. That's how it works. What you don't get about taxes, though, you have to wait after a year after you sell on Robinhood to take it off the Robinhood app. No, you can transfer it off Robinhood to a wallet, and that's not taxable. You still own that Dogecoin. So you can transfer it to Exodus wallet or to a ledger like this. Here's my link right there. I have a link below to Ledger. This is the Ledger Nano S Plus I have. And I've got Dogecoin on here that I bought on Robinhood. I transferred from Robinhood to this ledger, and it still has the original buy date on my spreadsheet where I keep track of all this stuff. And it was over a year ago. So I'm now long-term capital gains on that Robinhood, which eventually, or on that Dogecoin I bought on Robinhood, eventually I'm going to transfer that back and sell it. The date isn't when you transfer it. The date is when you bought it until you sell it. Those are the only two dates you need to be worried about. You can transfer it onto a wallet, between wallets, and that is not a taxable event. It doesn't reset the timer or anything like that. It's when you buy it and then when you sell it. That's it. That is it. You'll join. Okay, when you're ready, Blue Horse. Racing Stripe Thong. Oh, I don't know what that's about. I don't know what that is, Ron. I hope Doge can help me. Got killed on AMC. I am so far down on my AMC. Oh, I can't believe what they did with all of that, creating, doing a reverse split and then actually adding more shares, offering more through offering was just killed it. Yep, absolutely killed it. People will tend to confuse SHIB with Doge. Yep. Every time Doge goes on a run, SHIB goes up. Not as high as a percentage, but it goes up. But the same thing happens when SHIB goes up, Doge also goes up too. Again, not as much as SHIB, but it's just weird how that happens. I think most people know the difference. I think. Elon tweeted he loves puppies. Was he hinting on Doge? Could be. You also get taxed when you swap it. Yes. If you swap your cryptocurrency from one currency to another, that is also the same as selling it. That's correct. So the timer ends and then the timer starts on whatever you swapped it to. That's correct. That's that timer thing. All right. What's next for Doge? We covered that. How about Bitcoin? Anthony Scaramucci doubles down on Bitcoin, and he says that 170,000 price tag for Bitcoin is now a conservative number. It's a conservative number. Now, we just looked earlier at a chart that was looking at like 300K, maybe 280. I mean, just crazy numbers. You don't know. We don't know. Nobody knows how high Bitcoin's going to go. You can chart it. You can chart it. You can chart it again. How much is going to continue to be bought by the institutions, these ETFs? Are we going to continue to see an outflow from gold into Bitcoin for those holding long term? We see a lot of that happening. And Bitcoin just getting scarcer and scarcer all the time. After the halving, once everything resettles, again, it's going to be about a month typically from when the halving happens, mid-April to like mid-May. I think things are going to get a little bumpy in there. The miners have to figure out like what their profit margins are with, hopefully they've already worked it all out because they're getting half the rewards. It's like your salary just being cut in half. You got to be ready for it. Some miners won't make it. So they might sell some Bitcoin. We'll see. You will see. Of course, made a lot in AMC, lost it all and a lot more doing leverage trading, got liquidated, learned the hard way. Yeah, that's tough. No more leverage, all caps, no more leverage trading. Well, that's what I've been saying all along. And I've never leveraged trade. I've never even tried it. I don't want to. And I've also never shorted anything because I never want to put my money behind something where I want it to fail. I want it to go down so that I can make money. I'm too positive of a person. So I DCA and buy and hold. I want the price to go up of everything I own. I don't want to just make money on the backs of someone else losing money. That's not me. Yeah, good point, First Class Media. When you sell, that's just a date when you sell. You've got to keep track till the next tax year, right? Or the end of the tax year. Where then Robinhood will send you a 1099. If you've just held it on Robinhood the whole time, they'll have the buy date and the sale date. But if you transferred it off, then you won't get the 1099 on that Doge or whatever other cryptocurrency. So you have to keep track. And I use spreadsheets is how I do it. If you guys saw my tax live stream that we did, here's an example. This is the Kriss DCA portfolio spreadsheet is what this one is. I haven't looked at this for a while. These are all our buys. And this is the same kind of spreadsheet that I have for my own portfolio. And what I do is I log each purchase, the date, number of coins, what the price was, and what the buy cost was for each purchase. And I sum it all up. I have my average. There's our average, 6.17 for 75,368 Dogecoin. I haven't done this for a long time. What's the current price now? 0.0852. So that shows it, 38% profit of $1,766 on that Doge that we bought for a total of 4,600. So almost 50% of this of the 10,000. But yeah, this is what I have for my own personal portfolio. All of the Doge, Jasmy, Bitcoin. Look, we were buying Bitcoin at 25,925, 25,520. Our average is 27K on our Bitcoin. So we're doing pretty well on that Bitcoin. Because what's the Bitcoin price now? 52, let's say 500. Yeah, almost doubled it on the Bitcoin that we bought. So when we sell, I need to make sure to write down the sell dates because I got to pay taxes on this. So I'll take that out of the profit, right? To make sure that I cover the taxes that are going to be due. But it'll be a long-term capital gain. We bought all of this in between July and September. The last Doge was bought in October. So we're going to hold it more than a year. So all of the gains on this portfolio are going to be a long-term capital gain. So less tax on the profit But yeah, this is what I do is it's a simple spreadsheet. I know some of you guys are like, oh, there's Kriss and his spreadsheets too, but it works for me. Some people use some wallet integrator things. I don't want to attach my wallets to anything. I just don't trust. I just don't trust people. I know these companies are probably fine. They're not going to do anything with my wallets, but I'm not attaching my wallets to anything anymore. Not doing it. So I do it the spreadsheet way. And this keeps track. And on my personal portfolio spreadsheet, I have it broken out in exchanges: Binance US, Coinbase, Robinhood, some in crypto.com. So it's all divided by exchange. So I'm going to when I transfer that cryptocurrency back, I'm going to transfer it back to the exchange where I bought it, is how I'm going to do it. And that'll just keep track of everything. So that's how I do it. Oh, we're getting a nice little green candle for Doge right now. Awesome. We like those green candles. All right. Derek, do you think the ETF market will harm the stock market as we migrate to crypto? Nope. Nope. Stocks will just keep trading, keep going up. There's more of the bigger stocks are just getting bigger and bigger and bigger, right? They call them like the Magnificent Seven or something, right? Meta and Google and Tesla, Apple, right? Nvidia's up there now. They'll just keep getting bigger. Amazon, of course, Jeff Bezos was selling billions of dollars, right? And it doesn't hardly has any effect on the price because it's so big. So yeah. Quant. I don't follow Quant. So I don't know, Rodrigo. Yeah, I don't know anything about Quant Project. I've never followed it. If there are any taxes when you swap crypto for USD, yes. As soon as you swap crypto for anything, whether it's a USD, well, USD is like the same as cash, right? But even USDT, like to tether, that's the same as selling it. So yes, then you'll have a tax liability then at the end of the year. And you have to keep track of that, particularly if you're doing trading on Uniswap, PancakeSwap, or any of these other DeFi platforms. They're not going to be sending you 1099s. You got to keep track of all that stuff. And it's just to protect your hide. We don't know whether the IRS actually hired those 80,000 new agents, but you know they're going to be going after crypto holders. And you're going to get audited, maybe. I mean, that's a lot of people they'd have to, in order to like flood like all the crypto holders. But you got to have some backup to what you put on your taxes in case you get audited. And if you get audited and you were not truthful, you did not cover all of your crypto trades, then you get dinged big time. And you don't want that. I mean, try to get away with like a couple thousands profit. Oh, they'll never find that. Ha. But if they do, you'll be paying a lot more than that in a penalty. So not worth it. Not worth it. Smash the likes, of course. Accumulating ADA, yes. I sold my Solana for ADA last fall. I sold it too fast, though. I should have held on to that Solana a little longer. But I've more than doubled my price on Cardano after I swapped. So that's good for Cardano. But I could have had more Cardano if I had held like one more month and let Solana go up a little more. But like I'd said before, Solana usually runs and Cardano follows it. And we're seeing that now. Cardano is has traded better than Solana for the past few weeks now. And we'll be watching that and how Cardano fares against Solana. That's kind of my personal thing, but also to justify me actually selling the Solana and then buying ADA. So stay organized. Yes, Derek. It's good to do. How many spots are already taken? Also, how is it divided? Is it by how much you put in or your buy date? How would I maximize my payout of it compared to me just buying? So you're talking about, I'm thinking, this Kriss DCA portfolio. So I'm going to be giving out 75,000 Dogecoin. Well, minus the profit, right? I'm going to be selling all of this other. Whatever the profit is over this, over the $10,000 I put in, I am giving out in Dogecoin. In order to receive the Dogecoin, you need to be a member of my channel, which is, $5 a month. That's something you have to do in order to get this Dogecoin. I'm not giving out for free. You got to do something. I'm giving it out on a prorated basis based on who has been a member longer of the channel. So for some of you that already have your names in green, you're going to be getting more Dogecoin than the ones who join between now and when we sell. You'll get some lower percentage, but it will still be worth it. It will still be worth it. If Dogecoin is going where we think it's going, it'll be worth it. So that's the deal. But you also get the fun of being a member of the channel, using fun emojis, and when things do get crazy and these live streams don't have the number of people we have today, but are in the hundreds or even thousands, which it can get when Dogecoin goes crazy, if you're not a member of the channel, I'm probably not going to see your chat. I'm not going to see your message. I'm just not going to see it. Because that's what happened before in 2021. It was just crazy. And things will get crazy again. So you'll get the call outs when things get crazy. Right now, as I said, things are a little quiet. But this 75,000 Dogecoin, I'm giving out. I'm not selling the Dogecoin. I'm selling everything else in the portfolio. Taking my $10,000, right? And that profit. But the Dogecoin is all going to you guys, not selling the Dogecoin. Giving it out, giving it away. That's what we're doing. If I invest $5 in Doge now, it'll be much more worth it. Yeah. Yep. You're still waiting? I got my tax docs from Robinhood. So you just go on the Robinhood site and look at the documents, and yours should be there. It's a download. Do it on a computer. I downloaded mine. It should be there. It's a good document, 1099 form, all there. Does it matter when you bought your crypto as long as your last purchase was more than a year ago? All will be long-term held? Yes. If you haven't bought any crypto in the past year, you haven't bought anything, and then you start selling, you don't have to worry about it. It's all long-term capital gains. But if you bought a bunch over the past couple of years, but then you bought a bunch more in the past 6 months, and then you sell, you've got to figure out, based on based on your spreadsheet, if you hold a spreadsheet like this, how much of this is long-term and how much is short-term. If you sell it all, you've got to have that on your records. Typically, when you sell, it's the first you bought. Like when we sell this Matic, let's say we only sold half of it. It'll take, I mean, for your accounting, just think of it as the stuff you bought first. First in, first out. And that's to keep you from having to pay short-term capital gains on stuff. Because again, it could be like a 15 to 20% difference in what you keep between your federal tax and your state tax. Because it shows up twice for you, both federal and state. So, subs to the moon. Everybody sub. Yes. Tedward took a break from monitoring the market for a couple months. How's the outlook for Doge? We going to hit 20 cents? So the outlook, Tedward, according to me, is we're going to follow the market. And we're going to follow Bitcoin. If Bitcoin goes up 4x, then Dogecoin could go up 4x. That would be a 35-cent Dogecoin. $200,000 Dogecoin would be about a 35 cent. $200,000 Bitcoin would be about a 35-cent Dogecoin. If they're going at the same rate. If nothing else happens with Dogecoin, that would be my target. If you think Bitcoin's going to go up to 200K by the end of the year. If you think Bitcoin's only going to go to 100K by the end of the year, then the price target for Dogecoin would be around 16, 17 cents. However, if Elon does something with Dogecoin, whether it's on X or Tesla or something else, Dogecoin is not going to be 17 cents. It's not. It's going to be much higher. That's what we're waiting for. That's what we're waiting for. Today, things are quiet, low trading volume. Talked earlier, if you guys didn't see at the beginning, about this search volume on Doge is just non-existent. This is Google Trends, Dogecoin search term, the craziness in 2021, and there's nothing going on. Nobody is searching Dogecoin in Google. It's just not out there. For Dogecoin's price to go parabolic, we need new people coming in buying Dogecoin, and that's going to happen when people start searching for it, which happened in January of 2021, happened again in April of 2021 when Doge was going crazy. That's what needs to happen again. That's what we're waiting for. It's not happening now. It's like Doge is asleep right now and just following the market. That's what's happening now. We're going to hit $1 if all adoption takes place. Doge to $1. You tried, not available. No, it should be there. Their deadline was January 31st, so you may need to contact them. Their deadline of posting all of that was January 31st. As far as I know, that was that's when they had to have it. Christopher, I did all of this in December. I had a 1099 form. I had the 8949 form, and did a live stream. So go back in my live streams to the Epic crypto tax live stream and look at that from December. And I covered all of that. Denise, good point. If you didn't sell anything and you only bought, then you would not have a tax form. Good point. That's a good point. You would not get a tax form then. Never sold, only DCA'd. That's it. So you got nothing to worry about. There you go. Glad we cleared that up. Yep, BTC price is up because of institutions. Wait till the retailers come in. For Doge, yes, this is going to be enormous. $1 all-time high would be ideal. Absolutely. And yeah, we've been following. Bitcoin is up 100, Doge up only 40. Compared to Bitcoin in the past 6 months, you're correct. Doge has not been as good of an investment as Bitcoin. Yes, that is correct. Dogecoin has the potential, though, to outperform Bitcoin with a catalyst that will send Dogecoin rocketing up. And that is what we're waiting for. That's what we're waiting for. So far, you're correct. Doge has not been as good of an investment. Yes, swaps count. Swaps are a taxable event. You've had one crypto, you bought it on a certain date, and then you swapped it for something else on another date. That's your timeline. If that's more than a year from when you bought it to when you swapped, then it's a long-term capital gain in the United States. I'm assuming you're in the US. That's a long-term capital gain, so you have lower tax to pay on that profit. But if it was less, let's say you bought it in August and you swapped in September, that's going to be a short-term capital gain tax on that profit. And if it's at a loss, you swapped it when it was lower than when you bought it, then that will offset profits in other cryptos that you may have swapped or sold. And you just have to add it up, the positives and the negatives. If it's a huge loss and you have a huge loss through the whole year, there's a maximum amount you can claim as a loss over the year. I mean, if you lost $100,000 in crypto trading for a year, you don't get to claim $100,000. The max is like, I don't remember, 3,000 or 3,500. It's something like that. It's like really small. But they don't put a cap on the most you get taxed on. No, if you profited $100,000, you're going to get taxed on all of that $100,000. That's just how it works. I should probably do another crypto tax live stream. It sounds like a lot of interest in it right now. I know 40% is a good investment. Typically, if you compare to the stock market, typical stock markets, you target like 10 to 12% a year. So 40% in 6 months, that's pretty good. Will Dogecoin hit an all-time high? Well, again, it all depends. It depends on the catalyst. By itself, it's not going to hit an all-time high. Just following along the rest of the crypto market, it's not going to hit an all-time high. It needs something. Tesla, XApp, Shopify, like all of that. That's what it'll need. Do you have certain selling points to sell and rebuy back in? I used to swing trade. I do not anymore. I stopped that. I did my last swing trading about a year ago, I guess in March. March of 23 was about my last swing trading I did. Now, when new opportunities come up, I may exit one crypto and swap over to another, like I did with Solana to Cardano. So Like I took Stacks, not too long ago, I took Stacks profits and I rebought into Celestia and Superverse. Stacks has gone on much higher, but Celestia and Superverse have also gone much higher. It's just something I did. But I do not do swing trading anymore. Not in this kind of market. If this thing could just keep going up, and what happens, right? You're going to like, oh, I'm going to sell my Doge here at 8.5 cents and hope it goes down to 7.5 and rebuy back in. Well, what if it doesn't go down? What if it just keeps going up from here? Because Bitcoin is just going to keep going up because it's following Bitcoin. So here's Bitcoin on the 4-hour chart. It's going up. Now it's going a little sideways, but it's going to just keep going up. The chances of it dropping down so you can buy in at a lower price with Bitcoin, the way it's trading right now, those odds are pretty small. You could end up with cash sitting there while crypto is taking off and you're not there. You blew it. And I am not playing that game. Not in this bull market. Don't play that game. That's my advice. People have done it. It's not worth it, in my opinion. Plus, again, you sold and then you rebuy back in, you reset the clock, and now you're back in short-term capital gains. You have to be convinced that that swing trade is going to get you an extra 15 to 20%. Because that's the difference between short-term and long-term capital gains. You got to have at least a 15 to 20% swing for that to be worth it, if you're planning on holding longer term. So think of it that way, and you're like, yeah, I'm not going to do that. As Nate says, the Kriss Pax channel membership will pay for itself and then some. And you are getting entertainment, right? You're getting entertainment, knowledge, education. That's worth something too, right? That's worth something too. I have about $80 in Doge. Should I throw more money into it, or do you have any other stock that you think is good? Well, Rogan reacts there. We don't talk about stocks here, except the occasional like AMC or Tesla. Those are stocks. This is crypto. Crypto isn't in shares, and it's not stocks. It's coins or tokens. And that's up to you to decide what you want to invest your money in, because I don't give advice, but I do tell you what I'm doing, and I diversify. So not only do I have Doge, but I have some other meme coins, meme tokens, some SHIB and some Bonk. But I also have blockchains like Ethereum. I have layer 2s on Ethereum. As you become more knowledgeable about crypto, like Arbitrum and Optimism, and I support those. Like I just said, I have Celestia as well. I think that's a great young project that's going to do very well. So I'm in this position where lucky enough to have enough money I can spread out in these different projects. And so like render, my render is up like 200%. Doge is sitting here at 40%. So I can feel pretty good about, hey, that render is pretty good. Then I have SHIB, which is 0. My SHIB is at 0% profit right now, which is tough. But I'm betting it's going to go up someday. So that's up to you on what you want to invest in. I continue to buy. I look at new projects. Like I missed out on Zeta. I was looking at Zeta Chain, and then it just took off before I could buy any. I was like, crap, missed that one. I mean, maybe it's probably still profitable buying it here, but I think there's going to be a big pullback on it probably. We'll see. Plus the tokenomics, I think, got a lot of unlocking to come up in the future. So I don't know. That might have been the time, would have been that big run it had earlier this month. You had your roommate pay in Dogecoin. That's Dogecoin as utility right there. That is it. That is Dogecoin as utility. Doge will surprise all. Master plan is taking place right before our eyes. I love that, Robert. Yeah. The master plan. And I've been connecting all the little pieces. I've been looking at all of Elon's little winks and nods about Doge. He hasn't given up on us. Denise, welcome. Welcome to the Kriss channel as a member. Appreciate it. Hi from Japan. Hoping Doge climbs, unlike the yen. Yeah. Yeah, the yen as a currency, not doing great. You guys are in a recession. I understand that. Doge is a it's a nice thing to have as an investment, especially if the currency is doing what it's doing. And our US dollar is just getting inflated away. I mean, it's crazy. The debt that we have. That's why people are buying Bitcoin and other cryptos. It's like, I'd rather hold that than have a bunch of cash. You have a big wad of cash sitting in a bank. What's the bank going to give you? 0.5%, right? 1%. Maybe put it in a CD. You might get 4.5 and 5 now for the next year. Well, 4.5, 5%. But what's inflation? 3.5, 4.5, 5%. That 5% inflation that we just saw, you get a 5% return on cash in the bank in a CD. That's zero. That is a zero. That's like my Sheeb. That's a zero. Not worth it. Not worth it. You like to be entertained, and the advice ain't bad either. Thanks, Denise. Well, Dogecoin hit 20 cents again. Hey, Lieutenant Jones, we just talked about comparing to Bitcoin right now. So if Bitcoin, let's use a different analysis. Let's say Bitcoin, because you have 20 cents, right? So Bitcoin is right around 50K. If we think Bitcoin's going to go to 150 by the end of the year, right? 150, that's a 3x, right? 3 times. We'll get it to 150. Dogecoin at 8.5 cents. If that goes 3 times, that's like 25 cent Dogecoin. If they go the same, about the same percentage. Now, lately, Bitcoin has been outperforming Dogecoin. Could that continue? I kind of think at this point, that's going to be really hard to continue after all this time. I think Bitcoin's gone on its run. The crypto markets in the past, after Bitcoin has gone on a big run, have turned more towards altcoins than outperforming Bitcoin. And I think we're starting to see that turn now. This is happening now. Things like VeChain, for instance, which has been big this week. I mean, look at this chart on VeChain. Just huge. Since the 7th of February, so this is just over 1 week, it's up 66%. And that wasn't even to its highest. I just took it to where it is now, 66%. This is the kind of stuff we're going to see, particularly next fall, I think. We're going to see these huge runs, and the altcoins are going to outperform Bitcoin, just like VeChain has done in this past week. It's just going to be across the board. Bitcoin dominance is going to tank. Altcoins are going to be where you want to be, in my opinion. So to be conservative, I just say it just follows the same Bitcoin as a price prediction, and then if Doge gets incorporated into Tesla or X, bonus. That is bonus money, and it could be bonus money big time. Big time. So, yep, as Blue Horse says, 20 to 30x. I don't know about that. That's pretty big, but I'm looking at a 10x on the high side is my forecasting of that. Not 20 to 30. There will be some that may do that, but not across the board. I mean, Cardano now at 59 cents to 10x to $5. Its previous high was $3. For Cardano to get to $5 I don't see that happening. You never know. I mean, things could go crazy. I hope it does, but a 10x would be hard. There'll be some smaller caps that can go 10x though, that's for sure. But Cardano is a big cap. And then Dogecoin to 10x here to 880, that'd be 85 cents, a 10x on Doge. Doable, but X adopting Doge is plausible. All the hints are there. You have to watch my last few videos. I'm piecing it all together. So, okay, gang. Well, that's what we have for tonight. I hope you all have a good weekend. Probably doing a video sometime over the weekend. I'll be live again Monday at 5 o'clock. So join me then, even though stocks are not trading that day. I'll still be here talking about Doge and other cryptos. Glad to help out. Probably planning another thing about taxes too. Seems to be of interest for people. So, so I hope you're all well. I hope we have a great trading weekend for Doge particularly, but all cryptocurrencies, because I don't want to wish bad on any other cryptos. And hope you all have a great weekend. We'll see you next time.
Dogecoin, which started as a complete joke, has like skyrocketed to not a joke anymore. It hit an all-time high of almost 10 cents yesterday, but it was so minuscule you wouldn't have understood why you have millions of shares.
Didn't Elon tweet that too?
And arguably, the most entertaining outcome and the most ironic outcome would be that Dogecoin becomes the currency of Earth in the future.